Greetings, greetings. Assalamu alaikum, Ramadan Mubarak, and welcome everyone. This evening, we're going to talk about how to move from simply wishing for success to building a pathway toward actually winning. Hi, everyone. I'm Thaahirah Lumpkin-Stephens, coming to you from Georgia, just east of it, downtown Atlanta. I'm a forever educator whose focus at the present moment is getting out of my own way. And I'm going to do that by replacing the paradigm I inherited or that I was given while I was a child. And I know this paradigm has held me back from being the success I want and should be right now. And I'm going to replace it with one that I powerfully create and that will allow me to win. And when I say win, I mean being completely healthy in my body, mind, soul, and to be wealthy by putting my money to work for me, a concept I was never taught, but giving it my money direction in a way that will allow me to have my annual income as my monthly income. Again, that's something I have never been taught, never heard of. Nobody ever suggested we could make $1 million a day, but we absolutely can, family. So today is about possibility and turning our hopes into plans and plans into meaningful results. Each of us are here with our unique dreams, experiences, goals, and desires. This space has been created to be a safe, reliable, and informative environment where we can gain insight, inspiration, and practical tools to move closer to the freedom we all deserve. And we all deserve freedom. And have we ever thought about that word freedom, what it really means to us? And let's think about that today. So, over the next hour or so, we'll explore sound insights, encouraging perspectives, and simple steps. Yes, simple steps that we can take to move our dreams forward with confidence. I mean, move them forward with confidence, knowing what we're doing, intentionally moving toward winning and being successful. We invite you, if you can, to move to a quiet location, listen, reflect, and take copious notes. And most of all, see and believe that what you hear today is absolutely possible for you. Thank you so much for being here. So let's powerfully move together from wish to winning. Up next, I have the pleasure to introduce another valued team member. This lady is an exceptional educator whose presence really elevates every space she enters. She embodies purpose, resilience, and sincerity. I'd like to present to some and introduce to others Lajeen Jazzy Muhammad. Lajeen?
Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Thaahirah. Um, greetings. I'm Nazim Muhammad. That says, call me Jazzy. So let's be friends. Call me Jazzy. I want to share with you a reminder of who you're being and how you're showing up and where your success lies. So I'm sure share this little video. Give me a minute. Gotta pull it up here. Okay. And not share. There it is. Okay, now let's start from the beginning. Okay, so this is, you get to make a choice. You can do it hard now or easy now. Okay, and then you also have your plan, but your plan doesn't always work. Okay, you're a good planner, but God is the best of planners. Continue. Okay, and your success, it takes time. You get grow and you grow. Success. Okay, so now look, what's better, motivation or discipline? Because motivation doesn't always last. And this is the one about the overthinker. You got to stop and wait for your, what would happen. Am I going to make it right there? Or I was going too fast. Let me back up a little bit. Okay, so the overthinker, this is me. That's why I want to get back over here. Because I would stop and wait for the right time, how it's going to show up, how I'm going to do it, and make sure I do it the right way, and just do it. Just keep doing it, even if it's not the perfect way that you think it should right then. Just do it. And this is another one, overthinker. You got that one rod, right? Catching the fish. But if you really understand the game, just put all the different ways that you think you can do it and do all of them. Okay, so that's the overthinking. And then we talked about consistency. Okay, you just keep doing it again and again. Maybe not the same thing, you learn as you go. Okay, but motivation, you get really hyped up and you go and you get tired and you sit down. That's the procrastinator and it's everything good. And which one are you being? The beauty of it all. Okay, you're gonna hit. You keep doing. You hit. Eventually, you're gonna hit. You keep going. You keep doing it. Just keep your goals. Just keep focusing on your goals. Keep focusing on your goals. The beauty of it all is that we can always change. Okay, so that's what I wanted to share. And if you saw yourself in there, perfect. Because I told you which one was me, and I mean was me. Now I'm the one that has all the fishing rods in the water. Okay, and I'm excited about that because different things are showing up for me. So that's great. Okay, so our next person that we're going to introduce today is brother I've known for 38 years. Wonderful brother, very powerful, caring. Integrity is his mantra. His name is Brother Keith Hollins Muhammad. Brother Keith, looking forward to you. I'm sorry if it stops there. Brother Keith?
Can you all hear me now?
Yes, now we can hear you. Okay, thank
Okay,
you.
I was muted. Um, Thank you, Jazzy. Wow, how time flies. 38 years. It's been that long? Well, I guess it has been. We're a little wiser. We're a little younger, older, younger, but it's all good.
It's all good.
I don't want to be long, but I do want to be strong. Um, wow. What you all are going to hear today as I continue, but I'm continuing to go so I can introduce the this person who is very instrumental in putting this together. And I just want to say that there's something that all of us have heard and we've got involved in, not because we wanted to, But I want to start it off, and I want y'all to ponder on this. Poverty is a crime. We're all meant to be rich, but poverty is punishment for a crime that we did not commit. Again, poverty is punishment for a crime we did not commit. That was a quote that was said that I first heard it by Brother Eric's father. But anyway, you'll maybe hear something on that later on. We are all part of a paradigm or a construct, a mental construct, and the best picture of that we can hop on is the Matrix. All of us saw the Matrix, and why was the Matrix such a successful movie? Because it was talking about the subconscious mind. Okay, the subconscious mind was the red pill, but the blue pill was a conscious mind. Was a conscious mind, and in the picture, the movie, you saw that if you had the blue pill, where you didn't have to think about what was going on. You just was okay with it because they think about taking the red pill, going down a rabbit hole. Your eyes were opened, and you could see, and well, the subconscious mind will allow you to do things that the conscious mind won't because we just hear, see, taste, smell, whatever. But anyway, I brought that up because only 2% of the population thinks. 3% think that they think, and the 95% don't think at all. Yeah, this all has to do with the mixing of education. Don't get me wrong, education, the right education is powerful, but the wrong education is not good. But anyway, I'm going to stop there and I'm going to bring and introduce to some and present to others my brother, who is a brother who wants for his brothers and his sisters what he wants for himself. He had a vision that the God told him, I want you to call yourself the wealth minister, not the minister of wealth. And when he woke up, he knew it was a vision and he accepted and he obeyed. And he started calling himself the wealth minister. So at this moment, without any further delay, my brothers and my sisters, I want to introduce to you, present to others, Brother Eric Ture Muhammad, aka the Wealth Minister. Come on out here, brother.
Thank you, Brother Keith. Greetings, everyone. It is indeed an honor, a privilege, and a pleasure to be here, to be a part of this amazing journey, this thing called life. We're grateful. I want to thank Sister Thaahirah and Sister Jazzy for their presentations and their welcoming, and of course, my brother, Brother Keith. And you're going to hear more from these leaders as we move forward to assist us in understanding the power of how to earn your annual income every month, folks. And it's if you listen to and looked at anything that was shown from the previous presenters, then you know it's all about the mind. The mind is a very, 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 very powerful tool, underrated by most because we're not made to think on it on a regular basis. But we're going to lay some backdrop here to help us to understand the power of what we have because we're all equipped with all that we need. And many of us, most times, we don't know that we're equipped because we don't know ourselves. But the God is perfect in his make, and you're going to get the opportunity to see some of that. We're going to give you a little bit of context and stick around because we also are going to give you the instant income opportunity. All right. When we say instant, we mean like now o'clock, half past now, a quarter to now, NOWNEW, new for some, be reintroduced for others, but it all begins with understanding our mind. Now, one thing that Brother Keith opened up with, he talked about a paradigm. And we're going to deal with that because that's that habitual behavior that the mind automatically uh, enacts. So we're going to look at your mind, our mind, and our paradigm. Now, this all began being able to picture the mind because no one has ever been able to do it or illustrate it. But In 1934, this gentleman, chiropractor, Dr. Thurman Fleet, he was very involved in the healing arts and holistic health. Okay, he found a way to connect or fuse the right mentality around healing and not just practice. Okay, but he stated that the mind is an activity, not a thing. So many of us, when we say, what's on your mind? And we generally want to point to our brain. The brain is an organ. The mind is energy that pulls everything into fruition. The mind is an activity, he says, not a thing. No one has ever seen the mind. In order to gain clarity and eliminate confusion, I will create an image we can work with. Now, he did just that, folks. And this was the hallmark of, of a mentor of mine, Mr. Bob Proctor. It was the hallmark of his ability to delve deep into the elements of the mind. So he began, Mr. Fleet did, with this picture. That large circle represents the head, the mind, and the smaller circle represents the body. And the job of the body is to do what the mind dictates. You agree? He drew a line in between. And in the top portion of the mind, he determined that to be the conscious mind. And then in the lower portion of it, he determined that to be the subconscious mind. Now, understand now, that mind working together means that the conscious mind has made the subconscious aware of the conscious activity. And as a result, the body serves as an instrument of the total mind. Mr. Proctor said this was the most valuable idea he had ever learned. And he spent his 60 plus years sharing this philosophy, concept, and science. Now, you heard about paradigm. Let me just give you a definition. Paradigm is a mental program that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And get this, folks, almost all of our behavior is habitual. Well, how does it begin? Right? If it's habitual behavior, if it's a mental program and it has exclusive control over our being, well, where did it come from? Especially since we knew nothing about it, meaning thus we could not have enacted it ourselves. Well, it begins with coming into the world. See, as babies, as infants, everything that's happening in our environment as babies is going directly into a subconscious mind. There's no conscious activity for a newborn, a child, right? What happens here is it just takes in whatever's in its environment, what it smells, what it tastes, what it sees, what it hears, right? What it touches, okay? And then with that happening, it flows directly into the self-image. And that's where it all begins. In fact, understand this, folks, it's been determined that by age 5, the most people whose paradigm is set remains there from age 5, okay, for the remainder of their lives. So what happens when you have self-image, a habit that's only formed off of senses? There's no thinking. There's no thinking involved. See, I can see, I can hear, I can smell, I can taste, I can touch. These are all physical things that happen. But what feeds the mind? And if there's no feeding of the mind, what self-image have we successfully created? I'm here to tell you we have not. Because what happens is, just depending upon those things, your paradigm only submits to present results. That which you can see, that which you can hear, that which you can smell, taste, and touch. But there's no thought process involved because the mind is not being fed. Okay? The conscious mind is not being fed. And why is that important? Because you need the ideas of the mind to produce goals, dreams, results.
That's right.
So now you have present results that we're stuck on. We're stuck. This paradigm doesn't allow us to move further. Another thing that Brother Keith shared is the fact that the average person does not think. Now, this is confirmed research, folks. Research confirms that the average person is constantly thinking, generating between 6,000 and 70,000 thoughts per day. However, the quality of these thoughts might not be what you expect because this is just busy habit. The brain is going to move, the brain's going to take in, but what does it take in if you're not in charge of the thinking? It produces repetitive patterns. Estimates suggest that 95% of a person's daily thoughts are exactly the same as the day before. Negative bias, roughly 80% of these automatic thoughts tend to be negative. So you have the same thoughts every day, and the majority of those thoughts are negative. How often? Every day. Subconscious activity, about 95% of thinking occurs in the subconscious, meaning people are often unaware of the underlying reasons for their actions. You're going to hear this again. I'm going to say it to you now, folks. If you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten. And then mind wandering. This is the age of platforms, cyberspace, scrolling. My goodness. People spend nearly half their time, up to 47%, according to analysts, thinking about something other than what they are currently doing. How many folks go to work with AirPods? How many folks sit around on their breaks or on their phone just scrolling through the activity that entertains them, takes them out of those immediate things that are happening around them that they may not necessarily want to pay attention to? And I get it. I get it. Folks, this is a result of a paradigm. And when you're talking about the speed, deliberation, while the brain gathers sensory data at 1 billion bits per second, the actual speed of deliberate human thought, making decisions or imagining is surprisingly low. But it's not surprising when you're not in charge of it, right? You understand. It's at approximately 10 bits per second. This is a result of paradigms, habitual behaviors we have no control over. And this is generally where the paradigm takes over. Now, we showed you how it happens from the cradle, right? But what has happened since the cradle? Mr. Keith shared it. Most people don't think. Statistics says 2% of people actually think, while 3% of people think they think. Okay, let me help us understand. There's a principle known as the Pareto principle. And the Pareto principle suggests an 80-20 rule. 80% of all of our activity is busy. 20%, only 20% of our activity is productive. So when you look at the fact that 2% of people actually think, 3% of people think they're thinking, you're talking about a good 95% of people. And guess what they do not do? That's right. They're not actually thinking. The brain is busy. It's an energy, a buzz, but we're not actually thinking. Again, this is the result of the paradigm. Just wanted to lay the framework. A mental program that we had taken no control over, that has almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. And folks, all of our behavior, almost all of it, is habitual. Now, how does this impact money and our outlook on money? It's really simple. Earl Nightingale, considered the dean of personal development, he said that most people think they want more money than they really do, and they settle for a lot less than they could have. That's not having control of our thought processes and the habitualness of paradigms. Now we're going to come back to the screen and we're going to look at it a different way as we get further into this brief presentation. But I want you to know this. This should serve as a mind hack for you. How does this lack of control affect or impact your money health? Simply put, when you permit your present results to control your thoughts, your income cannot improve. I'm going to say that one more time. When you permit, when you allow your present results, because we're not thinking, right? And whatever is there is there. When you permit your present results to control your thoughts, your income cannot improve. So you won't have a greater or better outcome. Now, what did school give us? School gave us valuable knowledge, and it still gives us knowledge because we're always students, right? School gives us valuable knowledge. However, school never taught us how to alter our old paradigms. You see? So therefore, we frequently do not do what we already know how to do. Have you ever found yourself as a child, or maybe with your own children, or maybe with coworkers or peers, or colleagues, you said, why didn't you do that? And the answer would be, I don't know. Just didn't do it. But you already know it needs to be done. You know that 2 comes after 1, B comes after A. How did you move to C and didn't even implement step 1 and you knew what step 1 was? I don't know. That's generally the answer. A shrug of the shoulder, maybe a shake of a head. When you are not in charge of exclusively of your habitual behaviors, folks, then everything else is hidden in plain sight. School never taught us how to alter our old paradigms. Therefore, we frequently do not do what we already know how to do. And the problem here is you find you have superior knowledge, but inferior results. And it leaves us stuck. It leaves us confused as to where we can be. We need greater charge. We need to have control of the paradigm in order to produce the results. We can take this control. We have to take it, and it will remove the confusion and frustration that we find in our lives where we're more concentrating on things that aren't as meaningful as we give it credit for. So what happens with all of this knowledge, if you will, but that book knowledge has not moved us into the subconscious or emotional activity? Well, we have no control of the subconscious at this stage. And all it does is lead to inferior results. It leads to confusion and frustration because now you have a body with no direction. The goal should be is to create the life you really want. It's a decision, folks, but without control, you can't have or enact a decision. Now, for some of you, this is really shocking. For some of you, you're asking yourselves the question, what the heck is happening? Where did this all start? Why didn't I know about this? How do I fix it? Because listen, once you're exposed to this, once it expands, the mind can't collapse on you, right? Once you know, you can dismiss it, but you can't not know it. How do I fix this, you ask? Well, just look at the reality. Look at the areas of your life that your paradigm has enormous influence over. It influences your perception, use of time, creativity, effectiveness, productivity, and your logic. And in order to gain a foothold on this habitual behavior, you have to know, what do you really want? What do you really want? And that's cloaked under another word here that I'm going to share with you. And that word simply is awareness. Awareness. Awareness is the state or quality of being conscious of something involving the perception of internal thoughts and feelings or external environmental stimuli, right? So while often used interchangeably with consciousness, awareness typically refers to specific focus or knowledge within the broader field of experience. Okay? Now, discipline is the ability to give yourself a command and follow it. But it will not begin without you making a decision, folks. And decisions must be committed decisions. In fact, look at where you are now, and you might find yourself having to quit what you're doing. Stop doing what you're doing. Because if you always do what you've always done, the results aren't going to be different. Look, discipline, the ability to give yourself a command and follow it, decision making, decisions must be committed decisions. Now, we looked at what was given to us by Dr. Fleet. He gave us this picture of the mind. We call it in our circles the stick man, right? And so our mind, see, hear, smell, taste, touch. We're only operating from this vantage point. We have nothing that we can feed the conscious mind. That's where all the intellect happens. This is the intellectual element of it. But now there are other elements that have to be there in order for the subconscious mind to absorb that which is being fed. So ideas have to be produced in order for the intelligence to kick in, where you have the dreams, where you have the ideas, the thoughts, right? And that feeds into the subconscious mind, because in the subconscious mind, it reflects perception, will, memory, imagination, reason, intuition. Let's look at how this works. All right. We have a philosophy, not a philosophy, but a strategy that was introduced by Dr. Proctor years ago, many years ago, called upside down, inside out. I'm almost done, because I want to get to the instant income where you can realize some results immediately. Okay. Upside down, inside out is where you now have to go from the top down. Now you have to position yourself to relate beyond the senses, control of habitual behavior. What happens now is you begin the thinking process. You enter that exclusive percent of people, and you allow your intellect, your thinking, to produce thoughts, ideas that relate to dreams. And all dreams are emotional. They are connected. The subconscious deals out of the emotion and moves. It moves towards the body as an instrument to carry out the full functionality of the mind. Upside down, inside out. We are spiritual beings by nature. We live in a finite vessel known as the physical body. But the spirituality lives inside that body. But as we grow and evolve, our results come from being that energy. You see, we're a spiritual being and we are consumed of energy. I know you think sometimes you just don't have the energy. That's never true. You always have the energy. You disperse it. We distribute it. We are energy, right? So what happens when we're in proper alignment, when we are recognizing our spiritual worthiness? Then what happens in that order, we produce intellect, because our spiritual awareness extends beyond the physical. As a result, we're able to communicate thoughts. We think beyond the senses. We think about beyond the physicality. So now we're able to engage the mind by first creating creating conscious activity, and then allowing that conscious activity to feed the subconscious, to guide us, to move us into action, allowing our body to do what the total mind is embracing. I want you to understand this. When we move on anything, it's a result of emotion, not logic. Logic says, yeah, I know how to do A, B, C, D. Logic says I know how to do steps 1, 2, and 3. But again, we won't always perform them. And when we're asked why didn't we do it and we knew it, we didn't know. We don't know. We didn't have an answer. But your decision making has to have an emotional connection. And this is where imagination, dreams, all of these come into play. Mr. Albert Einstein is known for saying that your imagination, your imagination is the preview of life's coming attractions. Look at where you were at 4, 5, 6 years old. Look at the things you used to imagine playing with uh, uh, cars and trucks or building blocks or you saw somebody maybe dancing on television. Now you decide you want to be a ballerina. Things you didn't get in school. These are things that are fed through the emotional connect of your dreams, of your imagination. So the whole goal here, when you operate upside down, inside out, that means from the top, your thoughts are now moved into ideas, and those ideas become things because your body is the instrument to carry out against totality of the mind. Upside down, inside out, folks. Remember, if you always do what you've always done, you will always get what you've always gotten. So starting point is always the same here, your same results, which cause thoughts, which cause feelings, which cause actions, but it brings you right back to the same starting point. When you permit your present results to control your thoughts, your income can't have a good outcome. Your income cannot improve. Now, we live in a universe that's governed by laws. And the universe operates on precise, unchanging laws that dictate life's outcomes. However, you do have primary laws and you have secondary laws. Okay. And I'm going to cite a few of the laws here for sake of time, only a few. But Mr. Raymond Hollowell put together a book called Working with the Law. It was aimed at aligning a person with their actions and universal forces to achieve goals. Right? Now, you have the law of attraction. That premise that like attracts like, requiring the harmonization of your thoughts and vibrations with what you desire. That, folks, is a secondary law. Law of perpetual transmutation of energy. Energy is constantly moving and changing forms, moving from the ethereal plane into the physical, allowing you to create your own reality. The most simple of examples I can give, you have a pot of water you put to a flame. That pot of water begins to boil. That boiling of the water creates steam. So the water moves into steam. The water is not destroyed, it transmuted. It translates into another form. So the boiling water becomes steam. And you continue to boil until the water is gone, the steam moves out, and then it moves into the ether. Water, steam, ether. That's the law of perpetual transmutation of energy. And folks, energy is never not created or destroyed. As a result, this is a secondary law, but it's a key universal law. The primary law is the law of vibration. Everything in the universe moves and vibrates at a specific frequency. To attract something, you must match its frequency. So let's say if your goal is to make a specific amount of money. Well, in order to do that, you have to be tuned to that proper frequency and allow it to communicate until that frequency reaches a point, a crescendo, where it meets through the universe that which you're desirous of. Wherever your focus goes, your energy grows. And the primary source, the primary law associated with getting what you want is the law of vibration. Then you have the law of relativity. Nothing is inherently good or bad, big or small. Everything is relative and becomes what it is based on how you compare it to other things. Another secondary law, but a great one, law of polarity. Everything has an opposite. Hot has cold, good has bad. Recognizing this allows you to focus on the positive aspect of the situation. So you might find yourself in a disposition that is not pleasing. Well, what's the other side of it? The other side of it is a pleasing disposition. You just have to be willing to go to the other side of it. And then law of cause and effect. Every action, you hear it in physics a lot, but every action has an equal and opposite reaction. What you put out into the universe, you receive back. And then law of gender. This is also compared to yin and yang. There's a masculine and feminine side to everything in life. Everything as it relates to energy. Even if you have a battery, you have a positive and negative charge, right? Everything has a gestation or incubation period, like a seed growing before it manifests into the physical world. So you talk about law of gender. Great, great add-ons. Now, from wish to winning, that's our group. We deal with a prosperity consciousness. We teach, we coach, we train people into reaching that higher self by getting to know themselves and then tuning into those frequencies that allows the universe to conspire, to bend towards your will for those things that you're already equipped with. Okay? It's about be, do, have, and then give. There's another law here. And this is a secondary law, but it's a very important one. In order to have the life that you want, you got to rid yourself of things that you do not. And one of those laws is known as the vacuum law of prosperity. Now, how this works is powerful, folks. The vacuum law of prosperity is a principle of manifestation and personal growth, stating that you must first release what you no longer want or need to create space for what you desire. It is based on the idea that nature abhors a vacuum, meaning when you create an empty space, the universe will naturally rush to fill it. That's just what happens. So, in order to get upside down, inside out as a strategy to work, we had to get beyond the physical present results and move into a space that creates results. And that's done with the paradigm, or taking charge of the paradigm, rewriting a paradigm. And where you can rid yourself of old paradigms, they are always paradigms. Because the habitual habits, all you're doing is recalibrating in order for it to happen, right? So we must create and control our paradigm. Now, folks, as we move into the last part of this, we talked about that vacuum law of prosperity. Old habits have to go. The paradigm will try to keep you stuck and shackled to your current circumstances. In order to make significant change and progress, you have to make a committed decision, followed by action, and the reward will be living the life you previously only dreamt about. We just have to know who we are and see ourselves as being worthy. Now, we said we will come back to this discussion. We talked about 95% of people not thinking, right? I want to show you another near mirrored statistic. Remember, Earl Nightingale said most people think they want more money than they really do, and they settle for a lot less than they could have. I want to introduce to you what Mr. Proctor introduced to us. It's called the M1, M2, and M3 experiences. M1 or mindset one is where it relates to money. We get jobs. We sell our time for money. Now, that's a beginning. Scripture says, when I was a child, I spake as a child, I did as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. At some point, you're retired. At some point, you're fired. At some point, you quit. At some point, life enacts change. And as a result, you can't sell time for money any longer. But how soon do you want to realize that before you're out of time to do the things that will allow you to create a nest egg? We're talking about your golden years don't have to be plastic. Time for money is what the majority of the world does. Then you have 3% of those who live in the M2, the money on mindset 2 stage. That stage is where you learn to take your money and have that money make money for you. Put your money to work. Give your money a job. If you have to have a job in 2026, I can almost assure you it's because your money is unemployed. Or we might be implementing strategy that's not as fast. You know, you want your strategies to equip you now. And then M3, That's the 1%. That's where the wealthy reside. Okay. In order to build wealth, truly build wealth, you need multiple ways for your money to make money. You need multiple sources of income multiplied against your time, right? Those are the three income earning strategies. So we believe wholeheartedly from coach to coaching in multiple sources of income. Our evaluated experiences have taken us to this space. And as a result, we understand 1% of the people enjoy wealth as a result of multiple sources of income multiplied over time. And then you have 3% of the globe that has learned how to give their money a job. But 96% of us, folks, don't even move in that way. Folks, when you follow the strategy of upside down, inside out, and we teach it, you'll find yourself with multiple sources of income and you find yourself positioned to be your own bank. I want to close with this poem. I'm going to read it out here, take a screenshot. But every choice has a cost. Not choosing is still choosing. Staying safe costs growth. Taking risks costs comfort. Doing nothing costs you dreams. Life will take something from you no matter what. Your time, energy, courage. You can't escape paying some kind of price, but you get to choose what you're paying for. So the question is, what matters enough to risk for? What's worth your fear, your effort, your heart? You're going to pay either way for the pain of staying the same or the pain of changing it. If you have to pay anyway, pay for something that matters. The one you want. Make your pain worth something. That was written anonymously for everyone. Now, what I've shared with you is almost enough to just move and do and just improve on where you are in your current existence. But what if you could immediately start earning a growing six-figure income while following the path to seven figures? How much would you pay acquire the same skills and mindset as someone who is pulling in multiple eight figures per year? I want to introduce to you a trial offer from our Wish to Winning Coaching Club. This course offers audio trainings, workbooks, one-on-one sessions, group chats, and special event access. There's a special going on now where you can get a 3-month trial offer of this 12-month course for only $97, a full 3 months. What is it worth to you? Would you agree that having an understanding of how money is earned, how money works, will improve virtually every area of your life? For $97, you can make that happen. And simply, all you have to do now is send the message club. Send the message club to the email address, thewealthminister@gmail.com. Send the message club to thewealthminister@gmail.com. And that will get the process underway. We'll send you all the details, what it entails. And we have an instant income offer there as well. It's different and separate from the one you're going to see here. Now, from Wish to Winning, we teach you how you can unlock new horizons in your life. The 12-month course, which begins April 1st, is $1,670 a year. That's a 2-month savings, actually, of $338, not $388. However, you can also do a month-to-month rate at $167 per month. But you have a greater savings rather, by taking advantage of the exclusive 3-month trial offer of $97. And again, this offer ends on March 31st, and April 1st begins the course for everyone. Now, I want to introduce you to
one of my favorite quotes.
a moment.
All right, for all the guests that's tuning in,
I want to introduce you to a presentation that speaks volumes to instant income that you can receive now. Thousands of us are already a part of it right now, and thousands of us are receiving this income. So I'm going to introduce to you Mr. Greg Baldwin, founder of MOSCA, my own strategic capital alliance. And if you have any uh, desire to move forward on that uh, instant income process, this perpetual funding model, you simply go back to the wealthminister@gmail.com and send the message MOSCA, MOSCA, and our teams will reach out to you. Here we go.
One of my favorite quotes, all right, for all the guests that's tuning in. You never change things by fighting the existing reality. To change something, you have to build a new model that makes the existing models obsolete. And that's exactly what we've done here with Mosca. Now, this is what I want all the guests to do, and even members, on a piece of paper. This is probably the most important step of it all, because it doesn't matter what I share with you if you don't understand what you're going for. So I want you to take the time and literally do this. All right, be coachable in this way, and I want you to answer these questions for yourself so that you can see how Mosca can actually help you with this in record time. So how much money would help you at the end of every month? You need to know that, rather than say, well, I want to make $1 million. Well, okay, let's get your time back first. What is your current financial obligations? Okay, how much money would you need to cover all your monthly bills and obligations or fundraising goals if you're a church or charity? You need to know that number, right? How much would allow you to fire your boss and have 7 days of Saturday? Because some people are working jobs that they just don't have a real passion for, but they're doing it because they need money. So this is about being intentional, and we're getting ready to show you an intentional strategy. No speculation whatsoever, how to hit those objectives in record time. So hopefully you've done that, okay? Now, having said that, you guys, I want to introduce you to Mosca. And MOSCA is an acronym for my own Strategic Capital Alliance. And what we are is a cooperative financial technology platform, or a DAO, which is short for a decentralized autonomous organization. It's member owned and controlled. And so what we're simply doing, you guys, is we're unleashing the power of perpetual and sustainable funding. And when we say perpetual, hear me very clearly, it's like residual, it's ongoing and never ending, okay? It is done with 100% mutual benefit. So when we say 100% mutual benefit, understand this means it works for individuals, it works for charities, it works for nonprofits, it works for family members, it works for anyone that's in need of perpetual and sustainable funding. And it's 100% a choice and not a chance. And so what I want to do real quickly, I'm going to get out of the way here, and I'm going to play a short video for you guys. And this video, what it's designed to do, is designed to give you a sneak peek under the hood of what makes Mosca tick. When we talk about 100% mutual benefit and 100% a choice and not a chance, it's because Mosca is powered by blockchain technology and smart contract automation. Now, I'm going to play this short video, and I want all the listeners to hang on to every single word in this 2-minute video. It's going to help you understand why this automation is so powerful and what Mosca can do for each and every one of you, okay?
At the heart of this model is a digital wallet enabled through the Mosca platform. Mosca provides the infrastructure that allows sustainable funding to function reliably, transparently, and at scale. This isn't about hype or speculation, it's about trust. And that trust is built using 3 key components. Firstly, smart contracts. A smart contract is a self-executing digital agreement. Once it's activated, it does exactly what it's programmed to do, automatically. Funds move immediately to their intended destinations. It cannot be altered, it cannot be delayed, and it cannot be manipulated. There's no human handling, no bias, no guesswork. Everything runs exactly as agreed. And secondly, We got AI automation. Intelligent systems manage distribution, tracking, and reporting. This removes human error and dramatically reduces administrative burdens. No manual processing, no spreadsheets. That's a godsend because I love spreadsheets, but I hate it when everything is needed to be recorded like that. No chasing payments. The system does the heavy lifting in the background so organizations can focus on their mission. And third, decentralized blockchain technology. This provides security and transparency without relying on a central authority. Every transaction is recorded, traceable, and protected. Nothing can be quietly changed after the fact. Nothing can be hidden. In simple terms, AI manages the logic, smart contracts execute the rules, and the blockchain guarantees fairness and transparency. Together, they create a system that is tamper-proof, automated, and trusted. This is what allows support to flow every 28 days, predictably, reliably, and without friction.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that, Paul. And so what I want to do real quickly, guys, I want to show you a 10-week intentional funding solution with emphasis on intentional, meaning that we've removed all guesswork, all speculation, all gambling. This is being done purposeful. And solution meaning that we've solved a problem for charities, churches, individuals, and families all around the world because everyone is in need of perpetual and sustainable funding or cash flow, right? So let me show you how this works. And I want all the guests really pull in here. This is a 10-week intentional. So whatever you wrote down in terms of, the dollar amounts that you need or whatever your financial goal is, I'm going to show you how you can hit that with mathematical certainty within 10 weeks. And I want you to think about the power of that because 10 weeks is going to come and go anyway, God willing. So you can continue to do what it is that you're doing, all right? And you know what that outcome is going to be 10 weeks from today. Or you can take what we're getting ready to share with you literally and execute, and your life can be radically different with mathematical certainty. So let me show you how this works. In week 1, here's what you're going to simply do. There's 2 ways that you can get started. There's the citizen, which is $225 plus blockchain fees. And then there's the enterprise membership, which is $525 plus blockchain fees. Okay. And we're going to really talk about the enterprise, the 525, because it's the best value. And what you're going to do is you're going to apply that to the smart contract automation one time. Now, what do you get for that? Well, you're going to have a certified onboarder. Your inviter is going to pay for you a one-time $20. They're going to pay for you to get onboarded to the smart contract. But our certified onboarder is going to set up your own self-custody wallet with your own private keys, ladies and gentlemen, meaning only you have access to this wallet and the funds, right? This is something that is willable. This is something that is sellable. You own it. Okay, this is very, very important to understand. All right. Now, the other thing that's going to happen that's magical is that 10 people are going to receive a perpetual residual benefit from that one-time contribution from you. Think about that you've actually helped maybe a church, a charity, or individual or a family, 10 of them, unbeknownst to you, because you started your own perpetual funding solution and enterprise. So that's step number 1. Step number 2, very, very simple. You're going to identify and connect 3 friends. And we say friends, it could be a church, a charity, or a coworker. It doesn't matter. All right, you're going to connect 3 friends to the smart contract automation that does all the heavy lifting. Okay, just one time. 3 friends that are looking for a perpetual and sustainable funding solution. And who is that? Just everyone. They just don't know about Mosca. And you're going to put them in front of this information. And if it makes sense to you, it's going to make sense to them. You're done at that moment in time. And here's what's going to happen. The smart contract is going to deliver to you $149 per month in perpetual residual funding or cash flow. Plus, you're going to receive $75 in donations or bonuses. That's $25 times 3, totaling $224 deposited by the smart contract. This is instant withdrawable money, right? Now, let's look what happens in week 2. In week 2, your 3 friends, they're going to simply duplicate and connect 3 of their friends to the smart contract automation within 7 days. How many times? Just 1 time. And they're going to receive $149 in perpetual funding plus the donations, just like you did. This has been baked into the smart contract. It cannot be changed or manipulated. You guys are going to be looking at the real numbers, no percentages. We want to remove all guesswork, okay? Now, here's where the magic begins. They received $149 in perpetual funding plus bonuses and donations, but automatically, the smart contract, it escalated you up to $173 in perpetual funding, plus you're going to receive an additional $225 in donations or bonuses. And here's the deal. You had nothing to do with the connections whatsoever. I want you guys, this is where the magic and the power of smart contract automation comes into play. So literally you are hiring the smart contract to go to work for you. And the same holds true for everyone, churches, charities, nonprofits, and the like. So that's an additional $249 instantly deposited into your own self-custody wallet that only you have access to, right? So far, so good. Week 3, as everyone just duplicates this simple process of connecting 3 to the automation 1 time ever, your friends, they're going to continue to duplicate. And what's going to happen? The smart contract knows what to do. They're going to receive $149 in perpetual funding each, plus donations. Consequently, your 3 friends, they experience the magic and the power of smart contract automation just like you did. 2 weeks in, they're now up to $173 in perpetual funding. But look what happens. You got escalated up even further. You're now at $328 in residual funding 3 weeks in, plus you're going to get an additional $675 in donations or bonuses. So that's $830 deposited into your very own self-custody wallet that once again, only you have the private keys to. And you had nothing to do with those connections. So what you're seeing now is not just a pattern. You're seeing a perfect pattern because your friends are receiving automated residual support too. See, understand, ladies and gentlemen, money doesn't grow by effort, it grows by structure, and Moses created the #1 structure on planet Earth today. Let's go to week number 4. As your cooperative continues to duplicate, look what happens. Your friends go up to $173 per month in perpetual funding each. They begin to experience the power of smart contract automation. Your 3 friends go up to $328 per month in perpetual funding each. And consequently, you're now up to $793 in perpetual residual funding. Plus, you're going to get an additional $2,025 in donations or team bonuses. That's an additional $2,490 instantly deposited into your very own self-custody wallet. Think about that. Now, at this point, just 1 month in, your 28-day, $127 subscription, which is the monthly subscription at the enterprise level, it's automatically deducted by the smart contract from your $3,793 in total direct deposits that you've received to this point. So what's the $127 for? Well, we have teams of developers that maintain the platform. We have customer service as well. But also this 127, it ensures the perpetual and sustainable nature of the platform. Because every time a subscription is run, 10 churches or individuals or charities receive perpetual residual funding at scale. Make sense? Now, the rest of the money is yours to keep once the 127 is deducted from your earnings, right? Now, I think you guys understand how this works. Everyone's only required to connect 3 to the automation 1 time ever. So by week 5, look what happens. Your friends are now up to $328 in residual funding per month each. Your 3 strategic partners are up to $793 per month in perpetual residual funding. And now you're at $2,191 per month in perpetual residual funding. All right. So at this moment in time, you can begin to experience some financial relief. But here's the deal. Your perpetual funding is going to begin to increase dramatically because look what happens by week 6. Your three friends, they're now at $793 per month in perpetual funding each. Your three friends are at $2,191 per month in perpetual funding, each of them. And you're at $6,383 per month in perpetual residual funding. So now, for many, what this does, it passes a milestone because now you're receiving $6,383 in residual funding. This can cover a major monthly bill or obligation. And for many of you, you can now afford absolute time for money freedom, meaning you can fire your boss because this may exceed your current monthly income. And your wallet and your residual funding are still growing. But because look what happens by week 6. Your friends, they're at $2,191 in perpetual funding each. Your three strategic partners, they're now at $6,383 per month in perpetual funding, all three of them. And you're now at $12,670 per month in perpetual funding. So now think about this. At $12,670 per month residually, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, this puts you in the top 10% of monthly income earners, and this is 7 weeks in if you're an individual. If you're a charity with an additional $12,670 a month, help your cause. You bet you. But here's the deal. Your wallet and perpetual funding are still growing because here's what happens by week 8. Your friends, they're at $6,382 per month each. Your three friends are at $12,670 per month in perpetual funding each. And you're now at $31,533 per month in perpetual funding. I want you guys to think about the power of what it is that you're looking at with smart contract automation on the blockchain. Now, again, your three friends are just 1 week behind you in perpetual sustainable funding, and their friends 1 week behind them. There are no losers here. That's how our smart contract is designed to work, where all of our members can receive its promise without campaign prejudice. Well, what do we mean about campaign prejudice? Well, what I mean by that is some of you may be into donating to homeless. Then there's others that's interested in donating to, feeding the hungry or digging wells in a remote village, right? So it dilutes people's funding. That's why over 85% of traditional fundraising platforms like GoFundMe and Indiegogo, they never reach their fundraising goals because it's diluted. And then you have some individuals that they may want to give to a specific cause, but they're hurting financially. Mosca removes that out of the equation because we're going to help supporters even start receiving perpetual funding, allowing charities and churches to have support that does not withdraw their support because they're receiving benefit. Make sense? Powerful. So by week 9, as this thing duplicates, your three friends are at $12,670 per month in perpetual funding. Think about this. Your three friends each are at $31,533 a month in residual funding, ladies and gentlemen. And you're up to $88,122 per month in perpetual funding. Now, let me remind you that you have not connected anyone else personally to the smart contract since week 1. Understand this. Mosca is an experience to be had. It is not a problem to be solved, ladies and gentlemen. It's just not. By week 10, look at this. Your friends are each at $31,533 per month in residual funding. Your three friends each are now at $88,122 per month in perpetual funding. And you are now, in 10 weeks, at $597,420 per month in perpetual residual funding. Now, take a deep breath. Think about that. 10 weeks from today, you are now debt-free and stress-free. Now, check this out, you guys. It's very, very important that you understand this. In week 1, you simply connected 3 friends to the smart contract and you received $149 in perpetual funding plus donations. But during the last 9 weeks, you have not done anything more personally, but your residual funding has escalated to $597,420 per month in residual funding. Once again, money doesn't grow by effort, it grows by structure. Mosca is the #1 structure on planet Earth today. And if you don't believe me, let's take it even now to week number 11 so that you understand the power. Because even better than that, your 3 friends or church or charity are also debt-free and stress-free at $597,420 per month, demonstrating 100% mutual benefit. Once again, I have to reiterate, Mosca is a new model that is making existing models in this space obsolete. But it doesn't stop there. What's even best? Let's take it to week number 12. Your friends or churches or charities are now debt-free and stress-free by week 12 because they are now at $597,420 per month in perpetual funding, not only demonstrating 100% mutual benefit, but demonstrating that this is 100% a choice and not a chance, ladies and gentlemen. As the smart contract, your humble servant is supplying and doing all the heavy lifting in the background. You just do a one-time execution and receive all the time because money like water flows to those who build channels. Make sense? So if you're looking at this for the first time, you're saying, well, why was I invited here by your inviter? Look at this screen right here. This is what your inviter saw. This is the vision that they saw for you and them and anyone that you introduced to Mosca. They saw freedom. They saw financial relief. They saw being stress-free and financially free, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Mosca. So here's the deal. When revenue flows in Mosca, everyone grows. This is how it works. So once again, Mosca is an experience to be had and not a problem to be solved. So your Citizen Wallet, once again, only you have access to it. All right. You're able to manage your money easily and withdraw your funds daily. Understand this. There's no pending. There's no waiting. You're also, in addition to being able to raise perpetual funding and sustainably, you're able to send and receive money, Citizen Wallet to Citizen Wallet, anywhere in the world within our closed loop ecosystem in a 1/10 of a second. So what we're doing is we're creating social and financial impact all around the world. Let me go ahead and show you how simple it is to withdraw your money from the Mosca platform.
So guys, look here. So you guys know I'm big on withdrawing and having access to your money. Okay. So this is my account. All right. It's my account here. And so look, I'm withdrawing right now, $500. Okay. $500. And whoever my inviter is and their inviter, they're going to receive micro deposits. Okay. A percentage of me withdrawing money. So I'm making a transaction. They have nothing to do with this transaction, but because they invited me, right, they're going to receive a deposit from me making this withdrawal, and their inviter is going to receive. So see, we receive deposits from transactions that also happen in the ecosystem. So I'm going to come down here and continue. I want you to see how fast this is. Okay. Let me do this too. Now I want you to see where my MetaMask is right now. Let me go to MetaMask. See right now, well, that's on the wrong network there. Let me get on the right network. Okay. As you guys can see right now, it is 9:56 in my MetaMask. I want to see how fast this gets to MetaMask. So I'm going to hit continue on MetaMask. See, it's withdrawing. It's bringing up my MetaMask. Look. How fast it is. You receive, I could confirm right here. Your transaction is complete. Folks, it's within seconds. Close extension. All right, see, I got the confirmation there. And let me go back to MetaMask here. And we should see, look at that. Boom. My money. My money. This is in my MetaMask. That's my decentralized wallet. Only I have access. So your MetaMask decentralized wallet is connected to Mosca. And when you withdraw your money, folks, you can spend it like you want. Okay? And understand, even though it's money I'm able to withdraw, the money I just withdrew, I would say within about a few days or so or a week, that same money I just withdrew is going to be back in my account because I received residually. I need you to hear what I just said. That same money, if not more, is going to be back into my back office as if the money never left. Let me say that again. I'm about to go ahead and do another withdrawal, but this money within days to maybe just about a week, this same money is going to be back in my account because of the residual component, because I'm a revenue sharing owner. All right, guys, so look, I'm going to come back and I'm going to do withdrawal number 2. I'm coming right back again. Now, you guys just saw me. I'm still in my account. There's my name. Okay, you see I'm at 593, right? So watch, I'm gonna come down here and move MetaMask out of the way. So you see it says 593, just want you guys to see that. So I'm coming here, I'm gonna withdraw another 500, okay? I'm gonna withdraw another $500, all right? So I'm gonna hit continue, and look, it says withdrawing, it connects to my MetaMask, that's connected to the system. Look, it says I'm withdrawing $500, okay? Again, I'm gonna click confirm, and it goes to this thing, look how fast that is, guys. Look how fast that is. No waiting, okay? No waiting on a pending. There's a confirmation, right? Come back to my MetaMask here. It should be over $1,000.
Awesome, you guys. So it's really, really simple. And here's the deal. This is a screenshot of the transaction history. Everything's verifiable on the blockchain. So you have your own back office, Web3 back office. You can click on your transactions, verified on chain. Okay. Very, very powerful. So here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. It's just a matter of making a decision. Does this make sense to you? I can tell you this. This is not a fantasy. It's really simple math, smart contract automation, and blockchain technology with 100% mutual benefit. Please let that sink in, with it being 100% a choice and not a chance. Very, very simple here. If you have a smartphone, you can scan this QR code here. It's going to take you to a PDF where you can get a second look and really understand the structure of Mosca, take a deeper dive into how things work if you need to. If you don't have a smartphone to scan, then you can go to mosca.life and you're able to digest that PDF there. So it's really decision time. And what you want to do for those of you that see value and you want sustainable perpetual funding at scale through smart contract automation, step number 1, just connect with your inviter. Become a member owner today. Then step number 2, you're going to simply invite a few of your friends, family, coworkers, churches, charities, bishops, and the like, because everyone's in need of perpetual funding, and put them in front of this exact information, because once again, if it makes sense to you, it's going to make sense to them, and you can create options together. And then step number 3, once they're ready to go, they're going to do step number 1 and step number 2 themselves. This is a simple wash, rinse, and repeat system. So let me be the first to welcome any of the guests that's tuning in to Mosca. And I'm going to go ahead and stop my screen share here. I really want to encourage all the guests to get back with the person that invited you to take a look at this. This is nothing to have a whole, big dissertation or have analysis paralysis about. This thing really does work as advertised, ladies and gentlemen. You just have to try it. I always tell people, if you want to learn how to swim, you don't study water. You have a swim coach and they have you jump in the water. That's how this works as well. Get involved, connect a couple people to the project, and watch what happens. You're going to receive the $25 connection bonus. You're going to receive the transaction fees. You're going to receive the residual deposits. And the only thing that's going to do is take your belief to a whole nother level. Mosca is an experience to be had and not a problem to be solved. Hopefully that makes sense to each and every one of you. We're going to be back here again tomorrow night, same time, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Invite anyone that you care about to take a look at this common sense information, because if it makes sense to you, it's going to make sense to them. So as we end all of our presentations and trainings, we won't just see you at the top. We look forward to seeing each and every one of you over the top. Take care, everybody, and God bless.
Awesome. Okay, folks, you just saw a way to, make your life and take advantage of what you saw, make your life easy. So you see this QR code again. If you have your phones and you're looking at this on a laptop, then just take a screenshot of it, okay? And if you're interested in what you saw, the instant option of what you just saw, which is Mosca, email the WealthMinister at gmail.com, and in the subject line, put Mosca. And if you like the coaching club, do the same thing. Email the wealthminister@gmail.com, and in the subject line, put club. Okay. So, folks, we really appreciate you coming out today. And what you see and what you saw, you can't unsee it. It's just about making a decision. Okay. So that's what we wanted to present to you, because when you look at, money, it's easy to make money once you know how to make money. When you learn what the magician knows, it's no longer magic. Capital flows and custodies are in the system. Excuse me. As money flows, we all grow. Put it that way. I'll just leave it like that, and we can control it once you know what the magician knows. It's no more a magic situation. So you got the information, and we hope that you all were really excited in what you saw. So we'll see you next weekend. I would like to hand this back over to Brother Eric Ture, the Health or Wealth Minister. Come on in, Brother Eric.
Nothing for me, family. I appreciate your time and attention. And if you're interested in Mosca, then send Mosca, the message Mosca, to the email address, thewealthminister.com. And if you're interested in the coaching, the club, simply put, just the message club to thewealthminister.com. Your mind, you can't lose anything by joining. You can't gain anything if you don't. One thing's for sure, you're going to spend whatever you spend anyway. Why don't you put it towards something meaningful that'll change the trajectory of your wealth being? Thank you, everyone. God bless.
Thank you, everybody.